Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's take a look outside our afternoon weather window from today. And as we look down from our cross camera on Wenatchee Heights, what a beautiful shot, and all of that snow on the Cascades lit up by sunlight by mid-afternoon today. And we did have a peek at the sun at times today. It wasn't a bad day. We saw lots of much-needed melting, especially on those roadways out there today. But as we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we do have a little bit of rain mixed with snow, possibly more of that freezing rain moving in overnight tonight and in the morning on Thursday. And then we are in for a very quiet weather pattern from Friday right through the upcoming weekend, with temperatures warming up to about 40 degrees. And we'll talk more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. High demand and a limited number of testing supplies has caused the Chelan-Douglas Health District to alter the protocol for COVID testing at the Town Toyota Center. 3 semis jackknifed at about the same time on icy Interstate 90 this morning, about 10 miles west of Ellensburg, leading to the closure of eastbound lanes for about 2 hours. And Governor Jay Inslee addressed a remote legislature yesterday for his State of the State address, opening this year's lawmaking session. But first, our top story tonight: the rate of new COVID-19 cases in Chelan and Douglas counties soared to a record-breaking high in the health district's latest report yesterday. The Chelan-Douglas Health District reported that the rate of new infections is at 1,589 per 100,000 population over the past 2 weeks. That's up from 784 new cases per 100,000 residents reported just last week. As recently as December 20th, the rate was 214 new cases per 100,000 residents over the previous 2 weeks, an indicator that the Omicron variant of the virus is spreading rapidly through the 2 counties. The previous record high for the 2 counties was August 30th at 1,074 new cases over the previous 2 weeks. The only time the rate had topped 1,000 prior to that was in December of 2020. Confluence Health reported today that 20 people are hospitalized locally with COVID-19, 3 being cared for in Central Washington Hospital's intensive care unit. In the past week, the number of fully vaccinated people with COVID-19 at the hospital has exceeded the number of people not fully vaccinated. Prior to Omicron, unvaccinated had accounted for the vast majority of local hospitalizations. 13 of the 20 current patients at the hospital are fully vaccinated. All 3 people on ventilators, however, in the ICU are listed as not fully vaccinated. Hospital officials have said that this isn't an indicator that vaccines are not working, but many of the fully vaccinated patients with COVID-19 came to the hospital for other issues and then tested positive for the virus. Of the hospitalized, 6 are from Chelan County, 6 from Douglas, 3 from Grant County, 2 from Okanagan, and 1 each from Adams, Ferry, and Stevens counties. Well, in other news, high demand and a limited number of testing supplies has caused the Chelan-Douglas Health District to alter the protocol for COVID-19 testing at the Town Toyota Center. Those wishing to get tested now must be symptomatic for COVID, and pre-registration is required, and you can do that by visiting cdch.wa.gov or by calling 509-903-3900. Testing hours are Monday through Saturday from 10:30 to 4:30. A triage center is opened at the Saddle Rock EPC Church at the corner of Miller and Crawford for those who are experiencing COVID symptoms such as fever, weakness, and difficult breathing. The goal of the triage center is to free up space for non-COVID health emergencies at Central Washington Hospital. Kent Sisson, incident commander of the COVID division of the Chelan-Douglas Health District, talked today about why overwhelming demand led to the changes at the testing site.
I mean, we had people lined up both directions on Walla Walla as far as we could see.
So it was almost like it was a traffic hazard.
It was a traffic hazard. We got complaints, and I don't blame people for complaining, and we tried to apologize, and we got it cleared out as quickly as we could. We were not expecting that kind of reaction first thing in the morning yesterday, because when we opened, we did a soft opening on Monday, And, until 1:30 that day, we only had a handful, maybe 25 people through. And then the word got out, and next thing you knew, it was just, one car after another, and we had people lined out, as far as you could see on Walla Walla Avenue. So we are, we're working through, this is a brand new site. We're having to train people up. We're using off-duty firefighters, EMTs to help do testing. We've got our own staff here. We had to hire additional staff. When Confluence shut down their testing site on Emerson Street so they could become a triage center up at Saddle Rock Church, that pushed, overnight about 300 to 400 people down to us on top of everybody else that heard about the site. So all of that together is kind of the perfect storm for this to be overwhelmed immediately yesterday. And it's going much smoother today. As you can see, we don't have anybody backed out onto the roadway.
Switching gears now, 3 semis jackknifed at about the same time on icy Interstate 90 this morning, about 10 miles west of Ellensburg, leading to the closure of eastbound lanes for about 2 hours. The Washington State Patrol said there were no injuries. The roadway was particularly treacherous on a stretch of I-90 near Elk Heights, and just before 6 a.m., the 3 semi-drivers lost control, jackknifed, and blocked all lanes. It took until about 8 a.m. before the scene was cleared. Governor Jay Inslee addressed a remote legislature yesterday for his State of the State address opening this year's lawmaking session. The governor called on legislators to address a range of issues challenging the state, from COVID-19 to climate change to Washington's continuing crisis of homelessness.
So you as legislators have a lot to be proud of. But now we are going to be called upon to do more, because we face a variety and a dimension of demands greater than ever as we enter 2022. We must take action this day to keep and strengthen our commitments to those in need right now and in the future. We must take action this day to fight the homelessness crisis, to reverse social and economic disparities, to educate our children and serve those in foster care, to fund our transportation system, to protect our salmon and orca. And we must take action this day to fight the threat of climate change that is now hitting us so hard across our state.
Coming up next, Lake Chelan School District's educational programs and operations levy is expiring this year, and the district's hopes voters will approve its replacement. The city of Wenatchee could spend about $185,000 this week to buy 3 pieces of former mining land around Saddle Rock. Among the concerns transportation workers have had to deal with while preparing to reopen Stevens Pass, wildlife. And after being snowed in the first weekend of its new winter carnival, Leavenworth is going ahead with a wide range of festival activities this weekend, including a fireworks show on Sunday. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma, and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
Welcome back. In another news, Lake Chelan School District's Educational Programs and Operations Levy is expiring this year, and the district hopes voters will approve its replacement. The $3.6 million levy pays for school programs that aren't fully funded by the state, like school resource officers, counseling and mental health services, library programs, and athletics. Residents will be asked to reinstate the levy when they fill out their ballots in the election set for February 8th. The 2-year property tax starts at $1.07 per $1,000 of property valuation in 2022 and decreases to 98 cents per $1,000 in 2023. Well, the city of Wenatchee could spend about $185,000 this week to buy 3 pieces of former mining land around Saddle Rock. The 122-acre purchase would have to be approved Thursday by the city council. One of the parcels includes part of the existing Saddle Rock Trail. Another contains the northwest face of the Rooster Comb Formation. The purchase is part of the ongoing remediation of old mining work around Saddle Rock. Once the land is acquired, the city plans to get $44,000 back in an agreement to sell 2 of the new parcels to the Chelan-Douglas Land Trust. Among the concerns transportation workers have had to deal with while preparing to reopen Stevens Pass, wildlife. Deer living along Highway 2 near Tumwater Canyon are tired and weak from surviving through last week's winter storm, and the packed snow makes it impossible for them to climb out of the canyon and away from traffic. DOT officials say they've been moving herds along with pickup trucks to keep them clear of reopening work, but the deer will be vulnerable once traffic resumes. Motorists are urged to keep a sharp eye out and be patient with animals that can't quickly move out of the way. Well, after being snowed in the first weekend of its new winter carnival, Leavenworth is going ahead with a wide range of festival activities this weekend, including a fireworks show on Sunday. The first ever winter carnival was to have been every weekend this month, but after that January 6th snowstorm dumped about 3 feet of snow on the community, the priority became clearing snow and ensuring the safety of community members. In addition, all mountain passes were closed last weekend, but with Snoqualmie and Blewett passes back open and Stevens Pass expected to open later today, the carnival will go on with events such as ice carving Saturday and Sunday, backcountry skiing, ice climbing, sleigh rides, and more. The annual fireworks show will be at 6 p.m. Sunday at Front Street Park. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come right here on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
And welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, quarantine times for Washington students to return to school after a COVID-19 diagnosis has now been shortened from 10 days to 5. The Wenatchee School District says that may help keep more kids in classrooms and keep classrooms open, but staff and teachers are also vulnerable, and local schools are feeling the effect. Superintendent Paul Gordon reported on pandemic impacts to the Wenatchee School Board last night.
We are doing everything in our power to keep our schools open. This is no longer about mitigation strategies. This is 100% about staffing. Do we have the staff to keep our classrooms, buses, nutritional services, and other departments staffed? The district office has made staffing our classrooms our #1 priority. The reality is that we will shut some classrooms down over the course of this wave, if student or staff numbers indicate. But our goal is not to shut down our schools or our district. That has nowhere in my head do I see that happening. We're doing everything in our power to keep our classrooms open.
Today, we had 120 staff absences. We had 21 classrooms without teachers. We had 20 paras between gen ed and special ed absent. Similarly, yesterday we had 135 absences. Numbers look very similar. 32 with no sub, 32 certs with no subs, 21 paras, 10 that said they didn't, but they clearly did. 32 classrooms that were covered with para or with substitutes, and 14 para absences covered with substitutes. I'm going to go over some student numbers really quickly. December 6th, we had 740 student absences. December 13th, 781, and then it bumps in January. January 5th, we had 1,088, and January 10th, we had 1,200, just over 1,200 student absences. So the difference between December and January is roughly 300 and something students if you average that out. And that's obviously due to the new variant. It's highly contagious, as everybody knows. So it's clearly hitting our kiddos.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Wednesday. Not too bad out there today. Look at that. We were above normal for the first time in an awful long time today, unofficially at 35 degrees. 33 is normal. 53 our record. That was set back in 1999. And look at that. For the first time in a long time, we were actually at normal for our overnight low at 24 degrees. Record not too long ago, 5 years ago, 2017, we were 2 below. Sunrise this morning, 7:45, and it's set this afternoon at 4:34. Taking a look at your Thursday temperatures, we're in for a slow warm-up as we get you through the next few days, and it's going to stay that way too. We'll get to that in a second, but 37s for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 36 Quincy, 35 the high temperature tomorrow in Wenatchee, 34 in Kashmir, and 36 for the high temperature once again tomorrow in Chelan. So a little more melting will happen over the next few days. Tonight, cloudy skies. We're still seeing this persistent area of low pressure that could swing some showers in our way. That'll be overnight hours into our early Thursday morning time frame. Freezing rain not out of the question. And here we go in the morning on Thursday with that chance for freezing rain. Pretty much moves away though as we get into the afternoon on Thursday. Then we'll be nice with partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Temperatures in the mid-30s by afternoon. For Friday, what a great start to our weekend and end of the week. Partly cloudy, dry, and a quiet weather pattern shaping up. We are seeing a ridge once again over us, and that's kind of keeping that storm system at bay, at least for now. For Saturday, as we get you into the upcoming weekend, partly cloudy skies and warmer. We're going to see high temperatures in the upper 30s. Boy, it's going to be maybe even some 50s in western Washington over the weekend. On Sunday, mostly cloudy. We'll still call it fair with this ridge of high pressure still over the Pacific Northwest. Mid to upper 30s for high temperatures on Sunday. As we get you into your next work week then, for Monday, cloudy skies. Just a weak wave of moisture will slide into our area. That'll bring us about a 30% chance for a rain-snow mix. Don't expect any of that freezing rain, mainly because our temperatures are going to be near 40 on Monday. Getting into Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies. We're going to stay with those mild conditions. High temperatures on Tuesday, right near 40 degrees. Let's take a look now at that 7-day forecast. Tonight we'll drop down to a very mild mild 31 degrees, 35 tomorrow. Keep in mind in the morning as you make that commute, maybe a rain-snow mix and maybe even some of that freezing rain. Quiet weather pattern then for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with temperatures mid to upper 30s. A chance for just some isolated showers on Monday and 38. And then by Tuesday, mostly cloudy and mild. High temperature then right around 40 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services including caregiving, meals, and medication help. And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hello, sports fans. Dan Kuntz filling in for Eric Granstrom. Right to the Les Schwab scoreboard we go from last night. We did get a score from Quincy and Omak. It says no score. We got one. Quincy defeated Omak in Caribou Trail League basketball last night. The final was 72-48. By the way, the Quincy boys basketball team played really good basketball. Brewster and Lake Roosevelt never got going. COVID issues. Okanagan beating Mansfield on the hardwood, and the Soap Lake boys over at Antioch. Girls scores. We just got a score in with the Pioneers from Omak defeating Quincy last night in girls basketball. The final there was 53-24. Lake Roosevelt over Brewster in a big way, as you see, 67-37. That's a true score you see there. Okanagan 74, Manson 9 in girls basketball. Antioch over Soap Lake 55-32. To the Les Schwab wrestling scoreboard, the Wenatchee Panthers went down to Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, and they beat West Valley 48-30 on the mats, winning by pin. For the Panthers, D'Angelo Negrete at 113 pounds, Toby Hamilton at 132, Trenton Miller at 160, and Tyler Skylman pins at 170. Wenatchee's match tomorrow against Davis canceled. There is COVID in the Pirates program, and also the big tournament in Marysville this weekend, also 86th by COVID. Girls bowling. Wenatchee Panthers went down to defeat to West Valley last night. 3-1 was the final in pin count. It was pretty close, as you see there, but West Valley wins that. Eastmont defending its home alley. They beat Davis 3-1 with a total pin count of 1,785 to 1,529. Kate Ferguson led the way for the Wildcats with a 224. College basketball tonight. The Huskies are at home. They'll be taking on Cal, and you can watch that game on the Pac-12 Network. They tip it off at 7:30. Seattle Kraken is trying to snap that losing streak. They've lost 6 in a row, count them 6 in a row. They're in Dallas to take on the Stars for the first time ever in franchise history. They drop the puck tonight at 5:30. That will be telecast on Root Sports. After losing 2 games to COVID, they were supposed to go to Canada last weekend. They didn't. Wenatchee Wild back home for a single game. They'll take on the Penticton Vees Saturday at 6 o'clock. Join me for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow. My guest will be Chris Clark, the head coach of the Wenatchee Wild. Well, the Seahawks are still cleaning out their lockers, making their tea times, going on vacation. It is the offseason. Of course, a disappointing 7-10 record this year, dead last in the NFC West. As you know, 14-year veteran Dwayne Brown is a free agent, but he tells the press he wants to come back and play for Seattle.
You know, Pete is one of the most consistent people I've ever been around, man. Win or loss, he never wavers in his approach. You know, he's ultra positive, always finding ways to motivate you, always having fun. That's one thing I'll say about him and about just his atmosphere in general. The fun is never, it's never exiting the building. No matter what the season's like, you still come to work and you're still enjoying the work, you know what I mean? And Pete did a great job of keeping guys in it. You know, it was a lot of times where you didn't quite know where it was going to go. And I've had seasons where, we lost 12 straight, you know what I mean? And guys would just start planning their vacations. Guys start checking out. That was never a thing here. And I think he was a big part of that, just, keeping guys engaged, keeping everything upbeat and in high spirits.
DK Metcalf will be entering his final year of his rookie contract, and he thinks there might be some changes coming.
I don't know what this offseason is gonna look like. I'm gonna take some time to decompress from football for a little while and revisit things around March, April. But I'm thinking some things are gonna change around here, and I'm just looking forward to everything that's gonna happen this offseason.
Hey, DK, just earlier you said you think some things will change around here. Why do you think there'll be changes?
Our record reflects, we didn't, do our best. So either, personnel changes, play calling scheme changes. So, who knows, how wide the spectrum is of changes that will partake. But, some has to change.
Veteran running back Adrian Peterson was brought in to help Seattle's struggling running game. Adrian Peterson admitted on the field he didn't contribute a lot, but he was very happy to play a role in the emergence of Rashad Penny.
He didn't shy away. He didn't shy away from asking questions and trying to pick my brain. Hey, what are you doing? And not only did he just ask, he actually acted off of it as well. He's been doing things throughout the week to help recover his body, to keep his body in shape. Things that he say, I really wasn't doing things like that, man. I really didn't, I didn't know. And so I was able to open him up to some things that I've been doing since I was in Minnesota. And, some other things throughout the week that, I'm always asking him, hey, did you get this in this week? Did you get that in? And he's like, yeah, I did, man, I'm feeling good, and when you can see the difference, when you're doing something different and you see the results from doing that, then that makes you believe in it even more, So it was just a blessing to see, to sit back, after it really hit me after about 2 weeks, like, hey, 2 or 3 weeks, like, you probably won't be able to get back out there. It was just refreshing to know that, you made an impact in a different way.
As for Penny himself, he's happy he gets to go into the offseason without having to worry about surgery or rehab.
This is my first off season where I can go in and actually do the things I want to do. I think the last 2 years I rehabbed so much, and it kind of took a toll on me. So now it's like I get to go in with a fresh start, and after this month or so, like I feel like now that I can transition my body the way I really want it to look and to perform at a higher level.
Yeah, no postseason for the Seahawks, but of course it is Super Wild Card Weekend coming up in the NFL. Super Wild Card Weekend is a registered trademark of the National Football League, all rights reserved. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And finally tonight, Burlington Northern had to halt train traffic west of Wenatchee yesterday afternoon after a vehicle got stuck on the tracks at a crossing near Monitor. The stuck pickup was reported to the Chelan County Sheriff's Office just after 3 p.m., and responding deputies initially thought a tow truck would be needed to get it off the tracks. But shortly after 3:30, a Sheriff's Office vehicle was used to pull the pickup clear. Train traffic resumed soon after that. And that is going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night. News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.